Welcome to the OK, Let's Learn podcast, where we dive into books, stories, people, and tons of different topics. My name is Kevin O'Keefe, and today, let's learn about the Cardinal. No, not the cafe, not the restaurant, not the film, not the golf course, not the Amtrak train route, not the sports team, and no, not the leader of the Catholic Church. The Cardinal, the bird. We will talk about everything from A to Z, all you wanted to know about the beautiful Cardinal. I will say this, back in the day, and I distinctly remember this, 4th and 5th grade, we had book reports. And it was in 5th grade that I did a book report on the Cardinal. I can still remember it to this day, going to the Adrian's Library in Poughkeepsie, New York, looking through the bookshelves, hoping to find a book on the Cardinal. Because again, I'm old, no internet. You had to rely on finding books. And if the book didn't have the information you were looking for, you didn't have information. You weren't educated. So we are so much better off as a society, and look at everything that I'm able to now revisit with this beautiful bird, this songbird. So number one, what does it look like? Well, the male is pretty much entirely bright red with a black mask right around its eyes and beak. You've got beautiful plumage sticking up, feathers sticking up at its head, a little plump in the body, a decent long tail. But what also distinguishes this particular bird is its beak, its bill. It's almost like a candy corn orange. The female, not red, just sprinkling of red around its body, but for the most part, like a grayish brown color. The black mask is distinctive also in the female, but it definitely stands out as being different than the male. Where does it live? Its habitat is right in our backyards. So yes, if you live in North America, eastern part of the country going into Canada, and yes, down south, even as far as Arizona into Mexico, the name of this bird is the northern cardinal, technically, and you will see it not only in the wild, but you'll see it in your backyard. Singing, hanging out, making noise, flying from branch to branch. It is distinctive, and in terms of where actually it lives on the ground, they make their nest and they hang out pretty much most of the day, not high up in the trees and definitely not low, although they're clearly on the grounds with the squirrels, with everyone else in the bird feeders looking for food, but they are no more than typically 3 to 10 feet off the ground. And where are they? Because they're kind of hidden, right? Even though you can clearly see them, especially in the winter, they're hanging out in shrubs, hedges, vines, dense vegetation where they cannot be seen. What do they eat? They love seeds. If you want to attract them in your backyard, get some black sunflower seeds. They love fruits and berries. They eat insects. The insects are beetles, grasshoppers, ants, caterpillars, spiders, you name it. And they're especially the babies eat tons of insects. But again, your backyard feeding, you want to attract them, peanuts, cracked corn, lots of different grains. I mean, other than the insects, they got a pretty good diet, similar to ours. I mean, for the most part, they don't eat meat. Occasionally, they'll hang out and have a mouse or two, but it's all seeds and insects, and their beak is specifically designed to crack open seeds. Who do the cardinals have to worry about? Who eats them? Well, you can imagine the bigger birds, the hawks, the eagles, yes, the owls. And what's also interesting is blue jays. You'll see clearly in northern United States, eastern United States, you'll see the Blue Jays hanging out with the Cardinals, but they're not friends. They're not buddies. In fact, Blue Jays are known for raiding the nest of the eggs and the baby cardinals. So they are very territorial and they do not like each other. Who else is the cardinal predators? Well, you can imagine the domestic cats often go after the birds. Cardinal is not immune. Other animals that are in their neighborhood, the raccoons, the chipmunks, the squirrels, they primarily don't go after the adults, but definitely the younger babies and the nest and the eggs. And yes, along with that, certainly snakes love the eggs and are looking constantly for those nests. What do they do all day? Well, yes, again, nothing that you probably couldn't guess, but they sing, they hang out, they protect their mates, they look for food and look not to be eaten. In the morning, it's mostly singing and looking for food. In the afternoon, that's where they really will kind of just chill in the beautiful sun. And it's the evening where they'll rest, obviously, and still sing, still communicate, but they are more laid back. How long do they live? Only 3 to 5 years in the wild. The oldest wild cardinal on record was apparently 15 years, and it was a female. When they lived in captivity, apparently one particular cardinal lived 28 years. But they live a short life. And actually, that's common for other small birds. And as a matter of fact, a lot of the other small birds may only live 1 to 2 years. So let's talk about their life. Their short life. Well, in the first year, they start having families. And yes, they actually will have a family up to 3 different times a year. Each time, the female will lay, on the average, about 3 to 4 eggs. The female will stay with the eggs and incubate the eggs up to 2 weeks. It actually takes, to get the babies ready, they'll make their nest. It takes up to 7 days. So you talk about what they're doing during the day. Very often, they're making their nest. So over the course of about 3 to 4 days, the female will lay 1 egg each day. And listen to this. After a week and a half, they'll leave the nest. And yes, they're still dependent on mom and dad for up to 2 months, but they then, after 2 months, will be on their own. And soon, within a few months, they'll be starting their own family. They don't end up still spending time with mom and dad because mom and dad are having more of their brothers and sisters. But it's interesting. As they go out on their own, they'll find other cardinals their age. It's kind of like the teenagers are out on their own, or in this case, like they're just out of college. So they do have an interesting life cycle. And in terms of vocabulary for birds, it's interesting, just so you know, a clutch is a group of eggs, and a brood is a bunch of baby birds. So let's talk about some fun facts now for the cardinals. Number 1, they have one wife for most of their life. They stay together. Amazing. Compared to other songbirds, they stay together, husband and wife. And very often you'll see them. They will kind of hang out and they'll feed each other from beak to beak. So it's cute. It really is. They are not caged. There was a law passed in 1918, the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, which basically protected the cardinal and a lot of other wild birds because they are wild. And you're probably thinking, well, why can you cage other birds like canaries, like parakeets, like finches? Well, they are more domesticated. In other words, boys and girls, they were raised not in the wild. They were purposely raised to be captive. So you won't see cardinals in cages. Now you will see cardinals in the winter. They don't migrate like other songbirds. Talk about something beautiful to see during the winter time, and that's why, again, another reason they are so well loved. Now, I've mentioned many times that they're songbirds. And what's interesting, friends, is that songbirds make up half of the 10,000 bird species out there. And what distinguishes these songbirds is that their feet, right? They have 3 toes, 2 in the front and 1 in the back. So obviously that provides a great way to grip the branches and hang out on thin surfaces. And the sounds that they make are just really beautiful. Very distinctive too. Take a listen. More fun facts. Yes, the name cardinal came from the Roman Catholic cardinal because of their red appearance. The state bird, they are the state bird of 7 different states. And yes, they're all similar to each other in terms of their locations. Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Virginia, West Virginia, and North Carolina. It's absolutely amazing. They're the mascots of so many teams, not only major league teams, but colleges, high schools. I will tell you, Westwood High School in New Jersey. You've got the professional teams, the baseball team, the St. Louis Cardinals, the football team, the Arizona Cardinals. You've got the colleges, the University of Louisville Cardinals. You've got the Stanford Cardinals. So many teams across the country. As a matter of fact, if you looked at the top 10 mascots across the country, the Cardinal's right up there. Certainly in terms of birds, the eagle, the hawk, the falcon, but number 1 has to be the Cardinal. In many different cultures, many different religions, and throughout the world, cardinals are a sign of happiness, love, and when you see a cardinal, very often people see it as representative of a message of people that have passed away. It is very divine in so many different ways. Really a very important bird to so many people for so many reasons. As a matter of fact, there's an old saying that goes, when a cardinal appears, an angel is near. Final fun facts, and these are more like crazy facts. They attack their own reflection. They're not the sharpest tool in the shed, apparently. Well, for sometimes hours at a time, they can literally peck at a glass or a car surface because they're territorial and they're thinking that there's another cardinal around. And they do this process where they actually bathe in ants. Like some other bird species, they actually literally rub themselves in ants because apparently there's this acid released by the ants that can help ward off lice and other parasites from their feathers. Yikes. And both of the males and females sing, which is apparently different than a lot of songbirds. So to wrap up our podcast, here are the top 5 most interesting facts about the cardinal. Number 5, they are one of the most popular mascots in the United States. Number 4, yes, they were named after the Roman Catholic official. Early European settlers initially had called them redbirds, but once they realized that there were other redbirds, they named it after the Roman Catholic leader. Number 3, they stay put. They don't migrate. They hang out in the wintertime, especially obviously up in the northern part of the United States and into Canada. Number 2, they stay put with their spouse. They don't go wandering. It's so amazing. And number 1, the obvious, interesting fact is the look of the cardinal. And that black mask, distinctive color, obviously, but that with the male cardinal, that black mask around the beak, around the eyes. So that's another wrap on another podcast. Thanks for staying with me on the OK, Let's Learn podcast. Reach out to me at kevmok21@gmail.com. Questions, comments, feedback. Please rate and review me on Apple Podcasts. And until next time, friends, be curious and keep learning.